Alright, so we're going to use this video to just kind of give some additional things to look at when you're operating the door inside the burn can. This is Jason Bennett working the door. He did a great job and we learned a lot from different things that he did at the door. So you can see here he's got the top door open. He was trying to get the flash, but it was just too soon and we didn't have really the right amount of smoke. So as this progresses, we're going to see how we develop those ideal conditions to get what we want. Now remember, we're trying to show how to prevent this, but there will be times where we will show that this smoke is flammable. So Jason's resetting the process right now, and you can see he's just got the bottom door kind of partially cracked and he's just kind of playing around with it a little bit. This view right here shows how fire is going to propagate in this can, and it's going to propagate through the gases. Okay, so we get a little bit of ignition of the smoke, but nothing super crazy, and you can see how the fire's lapping across the top of the can, eating up that fuel. So this is good to just show flammability. So now Jason's going to shut the door, top door, open the bottom one, and we start to begin to see kind of the smoke that we want. You're riding a fine line of not killing the fire, but then giving it just enough air to allow it to keep sustaining combustion in there and build up heat. So the smoke that's coming out of the can, so right now both doors are closed and we have fire outside the can. This is something that we want to mitigate right away because it's just burning up the fuel. So Jason cracked the bottom door, all that smoke that's coming out is getting burned up. Okay, so we're not developing a fuel package that we want. So what I did was I was on the nozzle and I'll shoot a quick burst of a straight stream, just really short, in right at the top of the door to the burn room to just get that extinguished. Once you do that, then you want to open up that front vent to let that moisture out. So we're still in the process of trying to figure out what to do to try to get that fire out, and pretty soon you'll see that it's going to get extinguished here. Jason's hand will be in the way. So we just hit it with the nozzle and you can see that the fire is out now. So now we're going to get into a pretty solid process. So Jason's cracking that bottom door. You can see that nasty smoke that we're getting out of there, and he's cracking it just enough to give that fire a little bit of air and allow that smoke that's being produced to escape. We want that smoke package to also develop above that bottom door in that burn box because the fire's below it, and that's where we're going to kind of create that good environment. He's going to open the top door, shut the bottom one, and we're going to get a good event here. Boom. You can see it kind of lighting all the way back to the front of the can. It's real important after the event to shut that top door again and then go straight to cracking that bottom door. Okay, if we leave it choked off for too long, we can kill the fire. So Jason opens the bottom door pretty quick. We start getting that good smoke production that we want again. You can show them the unit or the bidirectional flow path that we're getting, where the smoke's trying to come out, but then the air is coming in nice and low, as you can see in the video. And basically now we're just watching that smoke package. So he's getting a lot of fuel entering in there really quick, and he's going to go for another event here. Pretty big event there because he opened up the bottom door as well, and you can see it burned off all the smoke in the can. It's pretty clear up above. Again, quickly shutting the door. Now he's going to switch out with Nick Marqueso, I believe, from Greeley, and you're going to see the differences here. So Nick's not really used to operating this can, but he's going to kind of show him. Oh, it looks like Jason's going back for another round. So Jason quickly opens the bottom. Now we get that fire outside the can again. Okay, and the only way to put that out is going to be to put a straight pattern for the instructor that's on the nozzle in the back. So Jason's just kind of playing around with it here. And again, the intent of this video for Madeline was to show backdrafts. Okay, so our approach with this burn was a little bit different than what we're going to be doing for the department. So now he's switching out with Nick. Nick's going to go up there and operate the door a little bit. And we're going to get a little bit different view with Jason kind of sitting back. So notice that the room's been shut off for a while. And so that's when we run the risk of kind of killing the fire. It looks like it's going pretty good. Nick's able to open up that bottom door, see all that fuel that we're sending out, creating a good package. When Nick feels like it's ready, he's going to shut that bottom door and open the top to try to get the event that we want. Shutting the bottom door, opening the top. And I think in this one, yep, there we go. So you can see we get some very good fire behavior in here. So we're not just going to be doing this with the department. We're not just going to be doing flashover after flashover. We do that once. We're going to show them that it is flammable. And then before we get ready to shut the bottom door and open the top, we're going to inject some water into that smoke package. Add some moisture in there and show what flowing water on smoke does. It's going to prevent this event from happening. That's the whole key to this, is how do we prevent it? You're going to see that we have fire outside the box there still. I do a quick blast with the straight stream to knock it out. And you're going to see Jason reaching over and opening up that front vent to let that moisture out. Because again, if we have moisture, then that fuel is not going to be as reactive. So if you're wanting it to flash, then we want to get that moisture out. And that just proves that point. If we have moisture, that non-flammable ballast, that water vapor in that smoke, then it basically prevents it from lighting off. So now Nick's getting a good production of fuel again. Jason shuts the vent and we get set for another one. Cracking the door just enough to feed some air into the fire, yet still producing good fuel that we want. And I believe on this one here, he killed the fire. So now we have both doors open. And in the camera, you should be able to kind of see in there here a little bit when Jason moves. See, we just have basically kind of some smoldering fire going on in there. So it's real easy. You can actually kill the fire, right? And that just reinforces the benefit of door control, right? If we starve the fire of oxygen, it's going to go out. So now what the instructors are going to do, they're just going to keep both doors open. You're going to vent some of this stuff out. It's up to you if you decide to vent it or keep that stuff in there. If you keep it in there, understand that the smoke's going to cool a little bit. So if you're wanting it to ignite, it may affect that. So now they're just allowing a bunch of air to come in. Opening the vent will allow more air to come into the fire, just like a vertical vent. And so they're just going to sit here and let the fire grow a little bit again to get it to a usable state. This video is tough with Jason moving his head around, but we did get some very good footage of not only the fire behavior that we can get inside the can, but the appropriate techniques for the instructor that's operating the doors of what to do and what not to do. And you're going to see a pretty big event here once they get the fire going again, just by shutting the doors and kind of injecting like a last little bit of air in there. We're going to get a little mini explosion right here. And that pushed out just solely out of that bottom door. So now they got it rocking. So what you'd want to do here is start choking off that bottom door. So that fire's ripping in there. If that fire gets too hot in there, then it's going to burn that. The combustion is going to be very efficient. So we're not going to get the smoke we want. And that's why choking down that door, riding that fine line of not killing the fire but keeping it going, that's going to produce the smoke that we want. And you can see here in this view that the smoke that we're getting out of there isn't really thick. We can see some of the cracks at the top of the can where we can see some daylight. Now it's starting to thicken up a little bit, and so that's telling you you're starting to get a good fuel package in there. Opens up the top door, and then we get a fire event. So again, after showing that this is explosive, this would be the time where we'd maybe throw some water in there, maybe some dry chem, and show different techniques that we can use to prevent this from happening. That way, when we open the door after putting that non-flammable ballast in there, then when we open the door and nothing happens, that's showing that we're taking control of the situation. We're not at least allowing the fire to propagate through the gases or the byproducts of combustion, the inefficient byproducts of combustion. And here's just Nick kind of messing around with the doors. You're going to see a quick blast of water. Jason's trying to pat it out with his hands. He's hollering back at me to give a quick blast. This is a good view of how much water you need. It's just a little bit. So just a short blast of a straight stream. It's coming up here soon. I had the nozzle set on the fog, so I just had to straighten it back out. Just a real quick blast. Jason goes over, opens the vent, let that moisture out. And then you want to get that door open again. Boom, right away we get an event. Kind of left it shut for a little bit, but right there, now it's just burning all of our fuel off. So you can see how controlling those doors is really important. It's cool to see that stuff, but then we're just burning the fuel off, basically the byproduct that we're wanting to use to demonstrate. So it's a fine process of kind of mitigating that and controlling that fire to produce exactly what you want. So we still have some fire outside of the can. Another quick blast of water. Put that out. Jason's coming up to assist. Jason knew that that bottom door needed to get going again. So now we're opening up. We're getting that good smoke production that we want. But you can see it's starting to thin out a little bit. And what we're finding is once that MDF is gone, it's really hard to produce that smoke just off of the pallets. And you're going to see that the effect that they're going to get from the can and the fire is going to start to dwindle a little bit. They got a good event right there, but not near as violent or as illustrative as some of the other ones. You can see as the fire's up in the can, you can see the top of the ceiling, so that means it's burning all the fuel. And that's it.